there, village voyagers. Welcome back to Musicland Stories, the origin point for all music and adventure stories in the known universe, and some of the unknown ones. And we're here at the Musicland Concert Hall. I'm the Charmer, and when we last met, I had brought a snowy owl named Flaco from your universe to Guanina's through one of my fantastical portals. Guanina had helped him recover from a nasty fall, and along the way, taught him all about salsa music. Flaco then went back through the portal, flew to his home in New York City, and introduced salsa to the Big Apple. Now, Guanina and Tainy, the huge spider who not too long ago had invented reggaeton, were out on the trail again, trekking deeper into the lush jungle. The sound of a peculiar melody filled the air. A combination of rhythmic tapping and a strange hissing, like when a piece of wood is being sanded down. Curious, they followed the tune to its source, wondering what kind of creature could be making such weird yet strangely musical noises. Up ahead, under a canopy of broad-leaved plants, they spotted it. A rhinoceros iguana was earnestly whipping its tail against a hollow log, trying to keep up with the rhythm of a song he was hissing. But every few beats, he'd miss a tap or stumble over his own feet, sending a nearby pile of leaves fluttering. Guanina and Tainy couldn't help but laugh at the sight. The iguana, startled by their laughter, lost his rhythm entirely and ended up spinning around, tangling his legs and tail, and finishing with a clumsy pirouette that plopped him right into a bush. Whoa! Emerging from the bush with sticks sticking out from his scales, the iguana looked embarrassed, like when your mom or dad catch you talking to your imaginary friends. "Oh, hey there," the iguana said with a nervous chuckle. Guanina stepped forward, her smile wide and comforting. "That was quite a performance," she said with a warm, friendly tone. "I'm Guanina, and this is Tainy. What's your name?" The iguana looked away, averting their eyes. He was shy, and his pride was still a little hurt. "I'm Iguanitis Maximus. My friends call me Igu. At least, that's what I would have them call me if I had any friends." The iguana shook his whole body in a fast, twisting motion. Leaves flew off of him in every direction. "Well, we're your friends now, so we will call you Iku," Guanina said. "Are you sure about this?" Tainy interjected. "We just met the guy." "Don't mind him. Tainy is a bit of a snob, but he's really very nice." Tainy, intrigued by the unusual iguana, skittered closer. "Your music wasn't half bad. Ever thought about adding a dance to that beat?" Igu chuckled, a deep, throaty sound. That's exactly what I was attempting, but my short, stubby legs aren't quite suited for the merengue music I love." "Merengue?" Guanina softly repeated. "I just learned about salsa. I've never heard of merengue." "Well, merengue and salsa are like cousins," Igu explained. "My first love was salsa, but there's way too much hip action in salsa dancing. Then I found merengue, but I'm still finding it difficult. There's a lot of spinning and swaying. I just want to dance so I can make friends. But most of the music I like is just not right for an iguana's body." Guanina, ever the problem solver, clapped her hands together, an idea already forming. "Maybe we can help find a dance that fits you. What do you say, Igu? Want to join us for a little adventure to find your perfect dance? With a hopeful glint in his eye, Igu nodded eagerly. I'd like that very much. Tainy told Guanina and Igu that he knew someone who would be able to help. Tainy led the way, his many legs moving with surprising grace as he navigated the thick jungle. Guanina and Igu followed closely, their curiosity piqued by Tainy's confidence. So, who's this guy you know? Guanina asked, stepping over a large root. He's an old friend, Tainy replied vaguely. A choreographer with the knack for picking the right dance for every creature. His name is Maestro Ritmo. Maestro Ritmo? Igu repeated, his curiosity growing. Sounds just like the person I need. They continued their trek until they heard the faint sound of music drifting through the trees. The melody was warm and inviting, drawing them closer with each step. As they emerged from the dense foliage, they found themselves at the edge of a bustling village. The homes were made of woven vines and large, colorful leaves, giving the entire village a harmonious, natural look. Flowers of every color imaginable bloomed along the pathways, and large lanterns hung from the branches above, casting a soft golden glow over the scene. At the center of the village was a grand pavilion with a thatched roof made from palm fronds, where a group of dancers swayed gracefully to the music. Everywhere they looked, villagers were engaged in joyful dance, their movements fluid and perfectly in sync with the diverse musical rhythms that issued from every door and filled the air around them. Tainy led them to the pavilion, where a tall, elegant figure was directing the dancers with precise flowing movements. Maestro Ritmo! Tainy called out. The figure, a wise-looking pink flamingo with feathers that shimmered in the light, turned.
Tainy, my old friend! What brings you here?
Maestro Ritmo asked, his voice rich and melodic. We need your help, Maestro, Tainy said, gesturing to Igu. This is Igu. He wants to dance, but he's having trouble finding a style that suits him. Maestro Ritmo studied Igu for a moment, then nodded thoughtfully.
I see. Well, Mr. Igu, what kind of dance have you tried so far?
I've tried salsa and merengue, Igu replied. But my short, stubby legs make it difficult. I've always dreamed of being a ballroom dancer.
Ballroom dancing, you say?
Maestro Ritmo's eyes twinkled.
That's quite ambitious. But let's see what we can do. Sometimes it takes some experimentation to find the perfect match. Let's start with the cha-cha-cha.
Maestro Ritmo clapped his wings, and the music changed to the upbeat rhythm of the cha-cha-cha. He demonstrated the basic steps with flair, his wings flapping in perfect sync with his feet. Igu watched intently, his eyes wide with determination. Okay, here goes nothing, Igu muttered to himself. He took a deep breath and tried to follow along. However, the quick, precise footwork proved challenging for his short legs. As he attempted to mimic Maestro's movements, his legs seemed to have a mind of their own. Instead of smooth, coordinated steps, Igu's feet tangled up like spaghetti. Cha-cha! Oops! Igu stumbled, and a dancing couple nearby had to dodge his spiky tail as it whipped around uncontrollably. Whoa! Guanina and Tainy tried to suppress their giggles as Igu continued his valiant, if somewhat disastrous, attempt.
Not quite right.
Maestro Ritmo mused, trying to keep a straight face.
Let's try something else. How about mambo?
The music shifted to the lively, syncopated beats of mambo. Igu, determined not to give up, gave it his best shot. He started moving to the rhythm, but the fast-paced movement soon left him in a hilarious tangle. At one point, he attempted a dramatic spin, only to end up wrapping himself in his own tail like a scaly pretzel.
Help!
Igu yelped, trying to untangle himself.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Guanina and Tainy burst into laughter as they rushed to help him. Tainy used his many legs to carefully unwind Igu. Igu, now free, took a deep breath and tried again. This time, he managed a few steps before his legs once again got the better of him. He stumbled forward, knocking over a row of brightly colored pots. The pots clattered to the ground, and a couple of curious toads hopped away, croaking in alarm. With a final attempt, Igu tried to add some flair, wiggling his hips in what he thought was a mambo move. Instead, he ended up slipping on a loose leaf, sending him sliding across the pavilion floor like a clumsy breakdancing lizard. Breathless and tangled up once more, Igu finally looked up at Maestro Ritmo, his face a mix of frustration and amusement.
I don't think mambo is my dance either,
he admitted, panting. Maestro Ritmo looked down at his clumsy pupil.
Mr. Igu, perhaps you're not cut out for ballroom dancing. Why not try something else?
Maestro, Igu began as he looked up teary-eyed toward the flamingo towering over him.
I've always wanted to dance so that I could make friends. It takes two to tango, and it takes two to form a friendship. But maybe you're right.
Guanina stepped forward, her voice filled with encouragement.
Don't give up, Igu. We'll find the right dance for you.
The maestro was touched by Igu's simple wish and Guanina's loyalty to her friend.
Igu, if your friends won't give up on you, I won't either. Sometimes, the perfect dance is just around the corner. Let's try one more. This time, we'll dance bachata.
As the soft, romantic strains of bachata filled the air, Maestro Ritmo demonstrated the gentle swing steps.
Mira, Igu. Bachata is all about the connection and the rhythm. Feel the music. Let it guide you.
Igu hesitated at first, but as he began to move, he found the slower tempo and the characteristic side-to-side sway much easier to manage. His short legs worked perfectly with the bachata's simple steps, and the distinctive little hop added a playful touch. The villagers gathered around, clapping and cheering as Igu danced with growing confidence. His earlier frustrations melted away, replaced by a joyful smile.
Excellent!
Maestro Ritmo exclaimed.
You found your dance, Igu! Bachata suits you beautifully!
Igu beamed, his eyes shining with happiness.
Thank you, Maestro Ritmo. I couldn't have done it without you. The village erupted into applause, and the celebration continued long into the night, with Igu as the star of the show. Guanina, Tainy, and Maestro Ritmo watched proudly as their friend danced his heart out, finally finding his place and his rhythm in the world. And of course, many, many new friends. Guanina, for her part, had discovered even more musical rhythms. Merengue, cha-cha-cha, mambo, and bachata all in one afternoon. She could have never dreamed of being so lucky growing up back in her village. She'd also learned that everyone, even the most seemingly out-of-place creature, had a rhythm to call his own. Everyone could enjoy music, everyone could create music, and everyone could dance. Even if at first it seemed impossible. And now, music would allow Igu to be confident and make friends. Guanina couldn't wait to tell everyone back home, and she dearly missed her mother. But she knew that her quest wasn't yet over. There was more to discover, more to learn, more music to bring back to her village. And I, of course, have more stories to tell all of you. So until next time, my village voyagers, this is your cha-cha charmer. Musicland Stories is a collaboration between Starglow Media and Double Elvis. Executive producers from Double Elvis are Jake Brennan and Brady Sadler. Executive producers from Starglow Media are Jed Baker and Agreinish A. Palmer. This episode of Musicland Stories was written by Armando Valdez Prieto. Alessandro Santoro is our showrunner. Narration by me, Nikki Lynette. Original score by Jonathan Warman. Story editing by Zeph Lundy. An episode mix by Colin Fleming. Grown-ups, you can find more ad-free audio fun for the whole family by subscribing to Starglow Plus on Apple or wherever you listen to podcasts.